NFL Power Rankings pre-week 1. Let's get into it. At number 10, I've got the Washington Commanders. Look, they were in the NFC Championship last year. I think they're going to regress a little bit. They went on a little bit of a Cinderella run. Good regular season team, not great. Point differential wasn't great. The defense was average, but with Jaden Daniels at quarterback, the offense is going to be efficient. Top 5 quarterback, average defense, gets you about the 10 seed. At number 9, I've got the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, the offense, we know. Chase Brown, I think, is going to be kind of a sleeper top 10 running back. The offense is going to be about the same, probably going to regress a little bit because can you be that good back-to-back years on offense? Probably not. But even if the offense regresses from top 3 to, 4, 5, 6, the defense cannot be as bad as they were last year. And something that's crazy, over the last 3 seasons, the Bengals have the highest point differential to miss the playoffs. If you project out how many points they scored more than they gave up, they were projected to have 10.5 wins, which would have clearly put them in the playoffs. So they lost a lot of close games last year. The defense I still think is going to be below average, but that offense is so elite, I've got them at number 9. At number 8, I've got the Denver Broncos, a top 5 defense. The offense it's average. If I'm being honest, it's average. Bo Nix, I'm not as high on him as a lot of people are. I think he's kind of meh. Run game, you don't have a formidable bell cow. Cortland Sutton is your best receiver. The offense leaves a little bit to be desired, but when you have a top 5 defense and a formidable quarterback, I've got you at number 8. At number 7, I've got the Los Angeles Chargers, division foe of the Denver Broncos. I think these teams are pretty similar. I'd slightly give the edge to the Broncos defense. Now, the Chargers did rank higher last season, but Chargers, they have Justin Herbert. Both offenses, from a skill position standpoint, kind of lackluster. Chargers did lose a left tackle just recently, out for the year. Does worry me a little bit, or I would have the Chargers higher. I just think the teams are so similar outside of the quarterback position that because the Chargers have Justin Herbert, I've got to give the Chargers the edge and put them at 7. At number 6, I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is an elite offense. They added Emeka Egbuka. You got Bucky Irving in the second year. You got Baker Mayfield another year in this offense. This offense is super slept on. When people think about the elite offenses, they think about the Ravens. They think about the Bills. Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored more points than the Bills last season. Buccaneers were the 3rd best offense in from a scoring standpoint. And I think they're going to be great once again. The defense, they have an elite run defense. The only hole on this team is the pass defense. And it's like, okay, there's going to be some holes when you're the 6th best team. At number 5, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Look, a lot of people think the Bills are a better team. I don't know. The pass defense is weak once again, similar to the Buccaneers. Josh Allen, the Bucs and the Bills, they feel kind of close to me. I almost consider putting the Bucs above them. The Bucs have better skill position players. The Bills have Josh Allen. Both have good run defenses. Both have suspect pass defenses. Feel kind of like similar teams to me. I'm not as high on the Bills as most people are. I think Josh Allen played as good as he could have last season. I expect some regression. Can you be the MVP in back-to-back years? I guess it's possible. It's not likely. I think Josh Allen will go from the best quarterback to 2, 3, 4, 5. Still think they'll be a good team. At number 4, I've got the Green Bay Packers. Great defense. Great offense. And they were missing Jordan Love for multiple weeks to begin that season. So the numbers are quite a bit watered down for them. People sleep on this Packers team because of how good the Lions were last year. The Lions went 15-2. This Green Bay Packers team, with Jordan Love, presumably going to be healthy the whole season, a top 10 defense, I expect them to have top 5 offense. I think this is going to be a very balanced football team. Got a lot of good weapons. Matthew Golden's coming into the fray. I think they're probably going to be a top 5 offense, and they're going to be having a top 10 defense on their side of the field, especially a phenomenal run defense. I don't see any reason why this Packers team I don't see why they can't push the Lions. And at number 3, I've got the Detroit Lions. Look, the Packers and Lions are very close for me. You could, same thing with the Bills and the Bucks. These two teams, you could flip them. I'm going to give the Lions the edge because the offense is so prolific. I do expect them to take a little bit of a step back. They were scoring 33 points per game last season. They were blowing teams out. A lot of those points were in garbage time. I expect the Lions to take a tad step back. The offense is still going to be top 3 in the NFL. The defense is, it's okay. You know, it gets a little overrated. They did have a lot of injuries, though. If those guys can stay healthy, you know, maybe you can have an above-average defense and a good offense. You know, if you can score 30, 29 points per game, then you can have a top 10 defense. That's a Super Bowl caliber team. So I think the Lions are pretty solid. At number 2, I've got the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Look, Eagles are a great team, no doubt about it. They do have 2 holes. And when I say holes, I mean that kind of loosely because it's still a great team. And these holes aren't big holes. The pass offense and the pass defense, they're not elite. I'm just going to be honest. I do think Jalen Hurts is a winner. He's a great running quarterback. He's an okay passer. The pass offense, if they're down, can they come back? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Now, they won't be down in a lot of games because they have such a great rushing attack and they're so efficient on 4th and short and 4th and goal situations. And the pass defense, it's going to kind of make it difficult for them to hold leads. They lost a few secondary players. Still a great team. Still could win the Super Bowl. I expect them, the Lions, or the Packers to represent the NFC. But there's one team who I think is going to be better than Philadelphia Eagles, and they played them last year, and because of poor kicking play, lost, and that is my Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are the best team in the NFL. I think at the end of the season, they will be number 1 in points per game on offense, and I think they'll be number 1 in points per game on defense. This team is going to be one of the best teams in NFL history. I will be keeping them in number 1 in my power rankings until proven otherwise, and there will not be any proving otherwise because the Ravens are the best team in the NFL. Look, this offense is insane. You have the best run game in the NFL, no question about it, led by Lamar Jackson. You have one of the most efficient passing offenses led by Lamar Jackson. Look, is he leading the NFL passing yards? No. He was up there. Just going to put that out there. He was up there. But we're not throwing the football that much because we're winning by so much. In the pass defense, Malachi Starks and Jair Alexander are going to be coming off the bench in nickel and dime packages. The Ravens will be 16-1, 15-2. They will be dominant. A dominant football team. Now, there were a couple teams I left out. My 11th team was going to be the Arizona Cardinals. I view them as similar to the Bengals in the sense that they scored more points than they gave up and still missed the playoffs. I think the Cardinals, the Commanders will kind of be in the same camp for me. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals end up being a top 5 team for me this year. Still kind of wait and see. And my number 12 team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, a lot of you are like, how are they the 12th seed? Look, I'm not impressed. I am not impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs. If they keep winning games, if they keep winning close games, I'll be proven wrong, and I will move them up in my power rankings. The issue for me is they did not beat teams by very much. And when you win, when you live by close wins, you die by close wins. You can only flip a coin and get heads so many times. It inevitably is going to balance out. And maybe the Chiefs are just a good clutch team. I do believe they probably are because of Mahomes and because of Reed and because of their experience and pedigree. The issue for me is you cannot repeat that success in close games. I think the Chiefs are a wild card playoff team. I really do.